All right, moving on to other stories. There's been a push in big cities in South Africa to round up homeless people off the streets into makeshift shelters. 3 weeks into the country's now 5-week-long lockdown, how are the country's most vulnerable communities coping? And what's been done to ease the burden of those addicted to substances? The BBC Southern Africa correspondent, Pumza Filani, reports for Just Nigeria.
South Africa is scrambling to minimize the impact of the coronavirus on its health system, economy, and its people. And those people include the most vulnerable, the homeless.
Have you been in contact with someone who has coronavirus?
No.
Across the country, homeless people have been moved into temporary shelters like this one, rounded up from street corners, parks, and underneath the country's highways. While many now don't have to worry about where the next meal will come from, they are exposed to other risks. This is usually one of the busiest parts of Johannesburg. Now, come evening, these pavements become beds for those without homes. Now, while the government's efforts have been commended at getting people off the streets, experts warn that for those battling addiction, stopping opioids and alcohol abruptly can be life-threatening. So what's the solution? Some centers are now providing methadone, a replacement drug to help the body cope with withdrawals.
Opioid withdrawal is really extremely uncomfortable. You need to manage the withdrawal and the cravings in order to stabilize the lockdown of homeless people.
How are you feeling with the methadone?
People like Oyama Faye. Oyama has lived on the streets for 10 years and has been on heroin for 9 of those years.
If there was no methadone here, I don't think there was going to be people in here. We are going to run away, all of us.
Homelessness is a long-established issue in South Africa. Because of the coronavirus, the government has moved fast. But what happens after the lockdown? Is it back to the streets for people like Oyama?
Let's pool our resources together and make sure that it remains high on the agenda. We need to remove and reduce the numbers of people who are out on the streets.
Concerns have been raised about a lack of social distancing and erratic food supply at some centers. Minister Zulu accepts the criticism but says COVID-19 is a learning curve for everyone.
When I look at what we've done from the beginning to now, and the fact that we're saying to the provinces, please don't head them like cattle into some place, because we need to give them the dignity. They deserve it.
The weeks ahead are uncertain for all South Africans, but amongst the homeless, there's some relief that for the time being, they too have not been forgotten.